Welcome back to A320 Knowledge, your trusted source for Airbus expertise. Today, we'll be diving into part 7 of our tutorial on the overhead panel. The A320 has hundreds of different buttons and switches, and we'll be tackling each of them section by section. In this tutorial, we'll be focusing on the electrical panel. The A320's electrical system is mostly automatic in normal operations. There is only very little crew interactions required. First up, we have the commercial push button. This controls the power supply to commercial loads, such as the cabin and cargo lighting, the galley equipment, the water and waste system, the drain mast ice protection, and the in-flight passenger entertainment system, if fitted. In the normal lights-out position, power is supplied to these systems. When the push button is selected off, power to these systems is cut off, reducing electrical load during abnormal situations. The galley and cabin push button is next. This can be either displayed as galley and cabin or just simply as galley. This controls the power supply to the main and secondary galley. In the normal lights-out position, power is supplied to both galleys. When the push button is selected off, the power is cut off. This is usually done to reduce electrical load in case of a single generator operation. The main galley is automatically shed when only one generator is operating, except for when the aircraft is on the ground and either the APU generator or external power is supplying power to the aircraft. An amber fault light appears on the galley push button if the load on any generator is more than 100% of the rated output. Next is the IDG1 and IDG2 push buttons. These control the respective integrated drive generators, which house both the engine generators and their constant speed drives. In the normal lights-out position, the IDGs are connected and supplying power. The switches are normally spring-loaded out. When selected off, the respective IDG is disconnected from its drive shaft, and therefore the entire electrical system. The respective engine's generator is now inoperative. The IDG disconnect switch physically disconnects the IDG from the engine, and it cannot be reconnected in flight. Only maintenance personnel can reconnect it. Disconnection of the IDG should only be done when the engine is running or windmilling. If not, the IDG will be damaged when starting the engine. Also, pressing the IDG push button for more than 3 seconds may damage the IDG disconnection mechanism. A good rule of thumb is to keep the IDG disconnect push button pressed until the respective engine generator's fault light appears, but no longer than 3 seconds. An amber fault light illuminates if there is low oil pressure in the IDG. However, this is inhibited at low engine speeds, specifically when N2 is below 14%. Also, the fault light appears when there is a high oil outlet temperature above 180 degrees C. The fault light extinguishes when the IDG is disconnected. An automatic thermal disconnection of the IDG will also occur if the temperature exceeds 200 degrees C. Next are the Gen 1 and Gen 2 push buttons. These control the respective engine-driven generators. In the normal lights-out position, the generators are on and providing electrical power to the aircraft. In this case, the generator field is energized and the line contactor closes if electrical parameters are normal. When the push button is selected off, the respective generator field is de-energized and the line contactor opens. This disconnects the generator from the electrical system. An amber fault light illuminates if the Associated Generator Control Unit, GCU, detects a fault such as a generator overload, overvoltage, or when the generator is not supplying power while the engine is running. On NEO aircraft, the fault light also illuminates when the generator is not supplying power after the engine start sequence. Generator faults can often be reset by switching them off, then on again. Consider trying this first, and if unsuccessful, the APU generator can be used if available. A point to note, if a differential fault trips the protection, reset actions have no effect after 2 attempts. Next is the APU Gen push button. This controls the APU generator, which provides electrical power when the APU is running. In the normal lights out position, the APU generator is on and ready to supply power when the APU is running. In this case, the APU generator field is energized and the line contactor closes if parameters are normal and the external power contactor is open. This is because the external power has electrical priority over the APU generator. When the push button is selected off, the APU generator field is de-energized and the line contactor opens. It is now disconnected from the electrical system. An amber fault light illuminates if the GCU detects a fault similar to those for the engine generators. The APU generator fault light is inhibited when either the APU speed is too low or when the APU generator line contactor opens after either the external power or engine generators take over. Next is the bus tie push button. This controls the opening and closing of the bus tie contactors, which maintains power supply to AC bus 1 and 2. In the lights out auto position, the bus tie contactors are automatically controlled by the electrical system. One contactor is automatically closed when one engine generator supplies the associated AC bus and the APU generator or external power is supplying the other side. Both contactors are closed during single engine operations or when solely operating on the APU generator or external power. When the push button is selected off, both bus tie contactors are manually opened, isolating the buses. This is used to prevent a fault from propagating through the electrical system. The BAT1 and BAT2 push buttons are next. These control the respective aircraft batteries, more specifically the corresponding battery charge limiters. The battery charger limiters automatically control the connection and disconnection of the corresponding battery to the DC BAT bus by opening and closing the battery line contactors. In the normal lights out position, the batteries are connected to the DC BAT bus and are being charged. Once charged, the battery charge limiter disconnects them again. When the push buttons are selected off, the battery charge limiter functions are disabled and the battery line contactors are opened. Both the DC BAT bus and the hot buses remain supplied. An amber fault light illuminates if there is a fault with the battery charge limiter. This is usually triggered by the charging current increasing at an abnormal rate, which can lead to a battery overheat. In this case, the battery line contactor is automatically opened by the battery charge limiter. The AC Essential Feed push button is next. This is used to manually select the source of power for the AC Essential bus. In the normal lights out position, the AC Essential bus is powered by AC bus 1. When selected to alternate, the AC Essential bus is powered by AC bus 2. This is used when there is a fault in AC bus 1. Some aircraft are fitted with the AC Essential Feed auto switching function. This will automatically supply the AC Essential bus with power from AC bus 2 when AC bus 1 is lost. An amber fault light appears when the AC Essential bus is not electrically supplied. And in the case of a total loss of the main generators, the AC Essential bus is automatically supplied by the emergency generator or by the static inverter if the emergency generator is not available. The final control on the electrical panel is the external power push button. This controls the connection of external ground power to the aircraft. In the lights out position, there is no external power connected to the aircraft. When there is external power plugged in and the electrical parameters are normal, the green avail light illuminates, indicating that external power is ready to be used. If the push button is pressed when external power is available, the avail light extinguishes and the blue on light illuminates. The external electrical power is now supplying the aircraft's entire electrical system. The external power has priority over the APU generator. However, the engine generators have priority over the external power. Therefore, if the engines are running, then they will supply the electrical system, even with the blue external power light illuminated. Thanks for tuning into this tutorial on Part 7 of the overhead panel.